Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes.
Freedom.
Suck in a gay way.
Make your own
and
decisions.
then fuck a woman and abort that baby. And then smoke somebody on your porch.
Yep.
America. That's
Yeah.
what it's about, dude. 100.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah, no, so I'm just about freedoms. I was put into this unit that was on like this strict lockdown. The unit I got put into like through this riot and tried to have like this jailbreak.
Fire.
So my ass was so sore from the squats like constantly every day. I could like barely walk into court.
You're limping into court, dude.
Yeah.
They're thinking the yard veterans took advantage of you.
Do you have any drugs on you? Yeah. 'Cause, I mean, that's...
You just folded? You were just like, yeah.
That's a pretty specific question.
This is the alcoholic equivalent of pocket watching. Everyone's like, Goblin, bro, you shouldn't do that, dude. Only Gas just got banned. You're a poor retard now, okay? Listen the fuck up. Nobody can tell me how to apply my drip. Okay, well, that's okay. True, you're not wrong, but I'm just looking out for you as a friend.
Could be a crackhead that got hold to the wrong stuff.
Wow, dude. Episode 16, Kyle. Isn't that crazy, dude? 16 episodes, dude. Our show is old enough to drive a car. We could take Crackheads to the DMV and get him his little license on his birthday.
Yeah.
I got my license on my 16th birthday.
Yeah, it's going quick.
You know what else I did on my 16th birthday? Got my first fender bender. Backed into a car at the mall and I drove off.
I don't even remember my 16th birthday, actually. I don't think I did anything, like, eventful that day.
Oh, so you don't not remember it because of drugs. You just don't remember
No.
it because it was a boring day.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or,
What
I
do
mean,
you-
there might have been drugs, but I did drugs all the time at that time.
If you had to guess, what did you do on your 16th birthday?
Well, if I had to guess, I was probably on house arrest that year, actually. So I probably was either at work or home.
What were you on house arrest for? I feel like we've never covered this on the show.
That was when I went to juvie for... I got arrested at school for possession of LSD.
Oh, you told me this.
Yeah.
Weren't you in jail for a week or something?
Yeah, and then I was on house arrest for like 2 months.
Ooh.
And then I
That's
had
not very long,
probation.
though. Like,
No. Yeah, I had, jail for 6 days, house arrest for 2 months, and then 6 months of probation.
What was 6 days in jail like? Like, describe that to me.
That was, I did not like it. I'm not fond of losing my freedoms.
Were
So,
you
like,
just, like, in holding at the station the whole time, or did they actually transfer you
No,
to juvie?
I went to juvie.
No.
Yeah, I had like my own cell and everything. Yeah.
What was do you remember it vividly? Like, what was day one like? What were you thinking?
Day one, I was panicking pretty bad. Because when my like parents didn't even know I smoked weed yet.
Oh, and you're in jail for fucking acid.
Right. I was just this clean kid in my parents' eyes.
Uh-oh.
And then I'm getting arrested for a drug they don't even know what it is, you know? And yeah, that scared them. Also caught them off guard. My mom was also pissed because I had gotten arrested at school and she picked me up from school. And that was actually when I lived in San Diego, so it was really hot that day. And her car had no air conditioning, so she was waiting outside to pick me up for like 3 hours, calling my phone, but the police had my phone.
Meanwhile, you're in jail.
Yeah, I'm being interrogated, and my mom was really mad. Yeah.
How long did it take for your parents to find out you were locked up? Like, did they call them that night?
I would say like 3 hours.
Because you're a minor, so they have to.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, it was pretty quick, but I didn't actually remember my mom's phone number by heart because I remembered her Illinois phone number, but she switched to a California one. So I only remembered my dad's phone number. He didn't even live in California. So I had to
Yo, you catch a
telephone
flight, Dad?
game. Well, no, I had to call my dad and be like, and we weren't even on talking terms. That's actually why I had moved out here to be with my mom, because my dad and I had been in a big fight, like physical fight. So yeah, I hadn't spoken to my dad in a long time, and the first time that I had to call him was I was in juvie, and I had to be like, hey, can you call Mom?
Dad, I know it's been a while, but
Right.
I just lost my freedom.
Right. That was a tough phone call to make. Yeah.
Did he
yeah.
do it? Like he called your mom?
Yeah,
and everything?
yeah, but like you could hear like the disappointment and also the lack of surprise in his voice.
He
It was just,
reluctantly called your mom.
Right. He's just like, damn it, Kyle. Like I saw
Not
this coming.
again.
Like yeah. That was a hard phone call to make.
At that time, did your dad know that like you were doing drugs, or was it like neither parent knew?
No. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's your
So-
soft launch, bro. Like, hey,
Right.
Dad, I got arrested for acid.
Right. Calling him from juvie. Yeah. Yep.
How'd you end up getting out after 6 or 7 days? Like, did they just?
So I got out on my first court date. I just had I unfortunately got arrested on like
Wait,
a
they
Friday.
made you wait a week in custody for your court date as a
Yeah.
juvenile?
So
What?
you're guaranteed a court date in your first like 3 days or whatever in California. The first day doesn't count. I was arrested on a Friday and weekends don't count.
Oh.
So Friday, Saturday,
okay.
Sunday didn't even count. And then I had to wait Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
That's so fucked up.
Yeah.
Did you make any friends in there?
No, I was put into this unit that was on like this strict lockdown. I guess like 2 days before I went to juvie, the unit I got put into like threw this riot and tried to have like this jailbreak.
Fire,
So they were on this
dude,
strict
fire.
lockdown when I got there already, and there was no talking allowed. Like you couldn't speak.
What?
You couldn't even like look at another inmate. You had to we had to walk around with our hands in our armpits with our thumbs out visible so that they knew we
What?
weren't carrying anything. Yeah, it was real strict. And I was so unlucky. I got arrested with 2 other dudes. My plug and then the dude that I was gonna trip with. The plug was actually the guy. He got caught first showing off his drugs in class. The teacher saw him
Dumbass.
like showing his backpack, like show and tell, and she's like, "What's in there?" Immediately calls the office and the police. So we got arrested as like a 3-man group, right? And there were 3 units in the juvie, so they didn't want us all like grouping up together and like
they put you
just
each on a
chilling.
different.
Right. So they
Yeah.
split us all up. They each got normal ass units. They got to play like kickball and basketball and have rec time. There was no rec time.
You got
in my
put in
unit. We
the
had-
Chapo maximum
we had
security
workout time because you were required like 2 hours of exercise a day in juvie. So like you were required some sort of rec time, but we didn't get the fun basketball, dodgeball rec time that the other 2 units got. We got squats and jumping jacks. I remember having these blisters on my feet and like my ass was so sore from the squats like constantly every day. I could like barely walk into court on the Wednesday. Yeah, it was rough.
You're limping into court, dude.
Yeah.
They're thinking the yard veterans took advantage of you.
And my hair was crazy too because they don't give you shampoo and conditioner. They give you Johnson & Johnson's whatever
Really?
all in one. Yeah.
You don't even get shampoo?
No. So my hair is very thick and needy. I need conditioner or my hair turns into a bush. So I looked like a madman walking into court. Yeah.
That ain't right how they
Yeah.
treated you. How many times of acid did you even get caught with?
One.
Your plugs chilling with like
I
all
should
the...
have eaten it and I would have been okay. But yeah, I had just been called down to the office like a week prior. And I thought I was busted for smoking cigarettes in the hallway. But when I got to the office, they're just like, actually, we just wanted you to take this biology test, like the standardized test. Because when I moved from Illinois to California, my credits transferred weird. And like earth science was not required in Illinois, but was in California and things like that. So I was a year ahead in science when I got to California. So they had to move me back to like the freshman class to take the standardized test with them. So that's all they wanted. They called. I had been smoking cigarettes in the hallway at school during like a lunch break, and they called me down to the office that day to ask me about some biology test. The whole way down to the office, I thought I was going to be busted for smoking cigarettes, and when I got there and wasn't busted, I was like, oh, I did all this washing my hands and cologne
We're
and
good,
deodorant
baby,
for
yeah.
for nothing. They didn't even care. So I kind of had that same mindset when I got called down after buying LSD, because that doesn't even smell. Like
Yep.
cigarettes, at least I smelled.
Really
you know?
easy to conceal tab of acid. you know?
Exactly. So I was like, if they didn't catch me with the cigarettes, they're not catching me with the acid. You know, wrong. I walked into the office and there was like 7 officers there. I was like, oh no. And yeah, then the principal's like, all right, listen, do you have any drugs on you? Yeah. Because I mean, that's
You just folded? You were just
yeah,
like, yeah.
that's a pretty specific question. Like, you know, like, and all these officers they already know, you know, the
Do you
jig
think
is
they
up.
would have found it if they searched you?
Yeah.
Where was
Yeah.
the acid? Do
It
you
was
remember?
just I had it in an Altoids container just in the side
Oh,
of my
yeah, you're
backpack.
fucked, buddy. Altoids container.
I
Yeah.
remember trying to get the cop to smile. I was like, look, it says curiously strong mints. Haha. But he didn't care. He's like, you're dumb. Yeah.
Damn. I mean, I only ever spent one night in holding for my Dewey. I never actually got transported to juvie. I almost did, but like it was when I got arrested at Walmart. And the only reason I didn't is because I got arrested in a different county than my mom lived in. But my grandma lived in the county I got arrested in. And they called my mom initially because I was 17 at the time, so they still had to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh, your mom doesn't live in this county. Like, if you either have to go to juvie or you have to get released on like monitoring until your court date in this county. You can't leave the county. And my grandma luckily lived there, so I got released on house arrest to my grandma's house. And then I snuck out that night and went to Jewel and stole a bunch of vodka. And then I got caught sneaking out, and that was a whole nightmare. But luckily, I didn't have to do hands in the pits at juvie. You know,
Yeah.
sounds like a shitty time. Was that like the only time you like actually went to juvie or like jail?
Yeah. I'd been arrested like other times, but I never went to like juvie or like prison. Just like holding cell.
I would imagine even then, at least juvie's better than the holding cell. Holding cell is kind of torture, bro. Like imagine 7 days in the holding cell versus 7 days in your juvie cell. Really?
Yeah, juvie was worse, but
Bro, the holding cells have nothing. Is juvie really worse?
yeah, though like the holding cell sucked, but like no, juvie's worse. Because at least in the holding cell you have like hope, you know, like maybe I'm just gonna be processed and released, you know. Juvie, you've already been processed and you were not released.
Yes,
you know.
yes.
So
It's over with.
right then, it's just up to like, okay, you've got your fingers crossed that your court date goes well, but then you're like, listen, like everybody around you in juvie is gonna be telling you the opposite. They're gonna be like, "You're not getting out, dude.
You're
I
here
got
forever,
60
buddy."
days for blah blah blah," you know, and you're like, "Oh, that's not even. It's not even as bad," you know. Like, yeah. So, yeah, juvie was worse, but
Well, you know what? I'm glad you're here with us today, Kyle. I'm glad you made it out.
all right. I just want to take a moment to give a shout out to our friends over at Five. You can get a free bag down below the video. There's going to be a link you can click. You can get a free bag shipped right to your door. There's 15 milligrams of green goodness in each edible and 150 milligrams in each bag. These things are pretty good, and I do occasionally eat them myself before bed. So check them out. They're free. Click the link below the video. Thanks.
And you know what, ladies and gentlemen, you know what else we're up to today? We've got to talk about some conspiracies, Kyle. We've got to, really equip our tinfoil hats, which I personally think we did a really good job crafting our hats this week. Don't you think?
Yes.
Like, I discovered a new method. This is, in my opinion, the strongest hat I've crafted yet. I used the turban tech. So what I did is I actually started wrapping the tinfoil around my head to create a firm base, and now my ears are like holding it in place, kind of.
Yeah.
And you also use the similar tech.
Yeah, it's sturdy. It's not gonna fall off. So it's good. It's a good hat.
You know what you kind of look like, dude? This is a very niche reference. Hold on. It's the gnome child from RuneScape. You look like this guy. You look like this guy right here. Let's pull this picture up. Oh, what the fuck? Where's the picture? Either way, I mean, dude, this is you, little gnome child boy. There you are, Kyle, right there, dude. It's pretty fire. But who do you want me to go first? Or do you want to go first? What do you want to do? You have had this conspiracy in your mind for like a week.
Yeah.
Like you brought this up to me while we were like on Discord playing games the other day.
Yeah, you want me to go first?
I mean, dude, send it. No,
right.
take me home, dude. What's your conspiracy this week, Kyle?
Well, I wanted to talk about the RFK assassination.
And by RFK, we're not talking the current RFK.
No,
We're talking past
no.
tense RFK.
So, yeah, the RFK that we know today is RFK Jr., the nephew of JFK. This is RFK, the brother of JFK.
OG
Right.
RFK. And what happened to him? Like, how did he get assassinated?
He was shot in a kitchen in a hotel after giving a speech. Yeah, he was running for... I can't remember if he was running for president or if he was just running for re-election in the Senate. But he was running for
a public office.
Right,
Yep.
a public office. And he was doing this like big presentation and giving a speech at a hotel, like a big fancy hotel.
Yeah.
They had this big ballroom, kind of like a theater where you would do like plays and stuff. So he gives this big speech there. And as he's leaving, they like last minute changed the route that he was supposed to take to exit the theater.
Okay.
So he's supposed to go out this one like very secure exit. And all of a sudden, his like head of security says, "No, it's too crowded. We're gonna go this way. We're gonna go through the kitchen. It's faster." So they start going through the kitchen. They make it into the kitchen, and RFK was really big. He was huge with the minority vote. And especially like lower income voters were more his like the kitchen staff appealed to him. So when he walked through the kitchen...
So that's why he was in the kitchen?
No, but once he was in the kitchen, he wanted to talk to everybody in the kitchen.
Yep.
He had to greet everybody and shake everybody's hands. Because he was big on, he didn't believe that anybody was more important or deserved more respect than anyone else.
That's based.
So, yeah. So when he was walking through like normal lines of people and saw congressmen, he'd shake their hands and stuff, of course. But he would do the same thing if he was walking to a kitchen. So he was doing that. He was shaking hands with the kitchen staff. And while he's shaking hands next to this big cold table, somebody reaches up from the crowd and just starts firing off shots at him. He gets hit a couple times, and he ended up bleeding out on the floor and dying the next day. They were trying to treat him in the hospital overnight. He did not make it. Do
you know how many like bullets hit him?
I think he was hit 3 times.
Okay.
But fatally once. Two of the shots they would have easily, like I think one was in like the leg. That
some bullshit.
Yeah, and then one was in the shoulder. One was in the neck.
Okay.
And the one in the neck.
That's the one.
Right. He was shot with a .22, tiny little caliber. So
interesting.
You're familiar. .22 is not a very like lethal round. Kind of like it's going to take more than a lucky shot, to take someone out.
I mean,
with a .22.
people say that 22 is not very lethal, but like if you hit them in the right place,
exactly,
22 is crazy. I've heard, I'm not sure if there's a rumor or truth, but I've read somewhere that if you shoot someone in the 22, like with a 22 right on like this part of their head, like there's a soft part of your skull, and the bullet, because it's so tiny, will bounce around your brain and just destroy you.
Yeah.
So it can be lethal in the right place.
Right.
It was for RFK.
Right. Yeah. So he was gunned down in the kitchen.
Got smoked.
Yeah, got smoked in the kitchen. That's basically like the official narrative.
Who shot him?
Officially, Saran was the assassin.
It's like a name I'd give to like a sim.
Yeah. Yeah. He was a refugee from Syria, I believe.
Okay.
He and his family came over here. Were good people. Like his brother's still here. Like he still lives in, I think, California even.
Really?
They were interviewing him about this sort of recently, actually. So what I think was sketchy about, like what I think was the most sketchy about this, it was that the witnesses were manipulated into giving testimonies that kind of fit a certain narrative.
By who?
I would argue the CIA.
Okay.
There was a witness named Serrano. She was a lady that worked in the kitchen, I believe.
Okay. So she was there firsthand. When
Right.
this
So
happened.
she worked for the hotel. I believe she worked from the kitchen staff. So she was just in the kitchen naturally when this happened. And she witnessed the whole thing play out. She saw the guy pull the gun and shoot RFK. She also claimed to have seen a lady that was with Saran. She said there was a lady with dark hair, a white dress with black polka dots, and like a long pointy nose.
Okay.
And several other witness testimonies described the same exact woman. Dark hair, big nose, white dress, polka dots on it. When Serrano gave her testimony to interrogators, she had this Officer Hernandez.
Okay.
Officer Hernandez, who was also later found to have worked for the CIA for years and years.
So he was like an active duty police officer that was secretly also working for the CIA?
Right.
Interesting. I didn't know that was
I
a
don't
thing.
know how long he was officially a police officer here. I just didn't write it down, but
Yeah.
he was not a police officer for very long. He had just been working in South America for a known CIA front.
So his CIA career predated his time as an officer.
Exactly.
That's very sus.
Exactly.
That's very sus.
So he comes in and he's the lead interrogator or investigator on this case. And he's questioning this witness, Serrano, who claims to have seen this lady with a white dress and black polka dots. And he kind of like gaslights her into saying like she didn't exist, right? The lady with the dress with the polka dots on it did not exist.
Interesting.
And like he would kind of get like personal about it with Serrano. He'd be like, "Don't you love this country? Don't you want us to be able to find like the assassin, blah, blah, blah." And he just kind of like went at this all night with her for like, I think it was like 12 hours long, this interrogation.
It's like a filibuster,
lasted.
dude.
And she was just a witness. She's not even like a suspect. So finally she just gives in, and she in her interview with, I think it was CNN, she's like, I was in there for so long. I was so stressed out, and it was starting to feel like they were mad at me for it. So I just straight up said, like, I'll just say whatever you want. Like, you're the police, you're the good guys. I'll trust you. Tell me what you want me to say, and I'll say it. So in her official testimony, she officially said in her statement, I had never seen Saran in person, and for some unknown reason fabricated the details about the woman in the polka dot dress.
She said that she fabricated those details.
Yes, that was her official statement.
So, all right, this is where my mind's going. Correct me if I'm misinterpreting here. It seems to me like maybe that woman, whoever she was, might have been some sort of government asset.
Right.
Okay.
Or yeah, maybe, she worked for, whether it be, the KGB or whatever secret organization she's working for. She seemed to be sort of the handler for Saran.
And this mysterious woman attended this event with the assassin.
Right. And then vanished afterwards. And all witnesses, every witness saw the same woman, but none of them actually officially mention her in their official statements in court.
So this woman's identity is still unknown?
Correct.
Oh.
They had another witness who his name was Vincent. His entire testimony, he claims, was fabricated entirely. He says he never gave that testimony at all. He said none of that came out of his mouth ever.
So was his testimony presented in court without him being there?
Yes.
Oh.
And then when he was later interviewed about this, He basically gave the same exact account that Serrano did before she was kind of gaslit by Hernandez, the CIA guy.
Potentially dirty cop. Yeah.
Right. So,
Let me ask this: what if you're familiar at all? Like, what incentive would someone have to assassinate RFK? Like, what was he really pushing for?
he did not like the CIA.
Similar to his brother, correct?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And more so than his brother because he blamed them for his brother's death.
Oh.
He the same day that JFK died, he called the head of the CIA and he asked, "Did you guys do this?" And they denied any responsibility, of course.
Yeah.
But he did not necessarily believe them, and rightfully so. I think.
I mean, yeah. I think it's long been believed by a lot of people that JFK's assassination is not what we publicly know right now.
Right.
So this would definitely make a lot of sense to me.
Right. Well, and I think one thing that keep in mind, so in a lot of the JFK conspiracy theories, a lot of conspiracy theories believe that he was shot from behind.
I've heard that before. There was multiple shooters.
Right.
Yeah.
So that there was multiple shooters and the real shooter might have shot him from right behind, like maybe even just the back seat. Maybe it was like his security officer or whatever. LA's chief coroner and medical examiner, Thomas Noguchi, said that the fatal shot for RFK came from right behind RFK's right ear of a distance from 1 to 3 inches.
It's very
so
close.
All the witnesses say that he was shot from in front, from a revolver. This guy Saran just lifted up his arm from the crowd and emptied the magazine or whatever from his revolver into RFK from in front. The coroner and medical examiners say he was shot from 1 to 3 inches away from behind, like his security officer, Like the only person that would be 1 to 3 inches away from him behind him would be his chief of security.
It's very strange to me, the similarities between RFK and JFK's assassinations.
Right.
Where in both cases, they were allegedly shot from the front.
Right.
But it turns out they were likely shot from a different angle.
And I guess there was like so much chaos that night in the hotel. They never actually checked the officer's gun. The officer that was like right behind RFK when he got shot, they never checked his gun. He apparently lost that gun soon after and replaced it.
An officer lost his gun?
Right.
What are you talking
like
about?
a month later.
Oh,
Very
yeah, I just happened to
coincidental.
lose it, bro. My gun is gone, dude.
Yeah, as soon as they actually wanted to look at his gun, he lost it.
Oops.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
Oopsie.
Now, there was a door frame that was next to RFK when he was shot. They were doing all these forensics, right, in the kitchen where he was shot.
Mm-hmm.
Too many bullet holes. He was shot allegedly with and I mean more than allegedly. The revolver did hit him. Just like I said, in the shoulder and the leg, maybe not fatally.
Mm-hmm.
A revolver, as you know, has a very limited number of bullets, yeah? So you can't, in the heat of the moment, reload a revolver and keep shooting.
Yes.
It's not an easy, switch. So if there's too many bullet holes in the kitchen, there must have been another gun. Well, I think there was 10 bullet holes in the kitchen found, and the revolver that Saran was using only held 8 bullets. So the door frame next to RFK was removed and destroyed before the investigation began, which had 2 extra bullet holes in it.
This don't make sense to me, Kyle. Something ain't adding up here.
Yeah. Saran's brother claimed he was a gentle pacifist sort of dude and had recently suffered a brain injury, which was treated via hypnosis.
The fuck kind of treatment is that?
Right.
You feel
right.
better.
Yeah.
You feel so much better and you want to
so
kill RFK.
he was trying to get into horseback riding, and he fell off his horse, hit his head on the ground, and injured it. He like suffered brain trauma.
Mm-hmm.
So to treat this, concussion, basically brain bleeding, hypnosis. So yeah, as a Syrian refugee with like recent paper trail of brain trauma, he was kind of like the perfect subject, I would say, for the CIA to use as like a puppet.
I mean, hypnosis is a crazy treatment method.
Yeah.
Hey, man, you want to get hypnotized real quick? You'll feel so much better.
Well, and he claimed to have, so when he was arrested after the shooting, he claimed to have no memory of the event whatsoever. Then when he was like later put under hypnosis, he remembered everything and could recount every detail of the shooting. And even like was gesturing, because he had his eyes closed for the hypnosis thing. He was even gesturing,
A vision came to him of him just smoking RFK.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, I did that.
And it was also interesting to me that during this hypnosis, he just kind of kept gesturing like that a lot of times. Like he kept going for a while. Apparently also after he like mag dumped into RFK and he was tackled by like bystanders, he kept doing that. All the witnesses claimed to have heard like his gun dry firing. So the whole time he was on the ground, he was still pulling the trigger like that. I think that's a little bit interesting as well.
You think the CIA like hypnotized him that day? Like, go shoot him.
Yeah. So there's, so his brother says that his like brain trauma was being treated with hypnosis. It's kind of, I think that, they were hypnotizing him for several months ahead of time, kind of like conditioning him for this. I don't know. I think that's very weird.
I mean,
treating a concussion with hypnosis.
I think it's pretty well known that during this era, the CIA was up to some crazy shit. So it is not very far-fetched to say that this could have been reality. And it's, what's really scary about all this to me now is I try to think like, man, we didn't find out about this stuff until decades later. What kind of sketchy shit is the CIA doing now that we aren't going to find out about until 2050 or some shit?
One more detail about the RFK assassination. There was an agent who is said to have been involved in in his RFK's brother JFK, like President JFK. He was said to had been behind JFK's assassination and Martin Luther King's assassination. He was present at the hotel during RFK's murder.
He just happened to coincidentally be there for all these major assassinations.
Exactly. So that was David Morales. David Morales, shortly after RFK's death, died of a very suspicious heart attack.
How is it suspicious?
Well, he had a seemingly normal heart attack, but then they kind of refused to treat him. Like medical services, and this is like not, some bum in the middle of nowhere. Like this guy's probably living in the middle of a city somewhere. He worked for, the CIA, and at the very least, he was a government official.
Yep.
Right. And it took over 5 hours for emergency services to respond to his call, or to the call for him, like having a heart attack. And they did not bring any oxygen with them.
That doesn't make much sense to me.
Right. So they could not really, they wouldn't help him in the ambulance. And then it had taken them 5 hours to get him to the hospital. So he had died, obviously, from just lack of treatment, basically.
Call me cuckoo. Sounds like they smoked his bitch ass.
Yeah.
Sounds like they smoked the fuck out of RFK to me, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think we'll ever know the truth about this? Like the real truth, or no?
No.
This country's fucked up, bro.
Yeah.
This country's fucked up, Kyle.
Yeah, I think there's certain things that certain things like the Vietnam War, our government will come out and say like, yeah, all right, We lied to you. You know, other things. I think our society would just collapse. You know?
Yeah, I don't think our government will ever admit to directly harming its own citizens.
Exactly.
Like, we'll always, like, if it's some international shit, like, oh, yeah, dude, we maybe dropped a little too much Agent Orange on a bunch of Vietnamese kids, but, like, the moment it comes to us, I mean, the implications of our own government assassinating a political official in our own country is, like, terrifying.
Right.
Like, immediately, I think our country would probably collapse.
Agreed.
You know?
So I don't think they would ever admit to it, and I think they would, go to the ends of the earth to keep that hidden. To protect our country from just collapsing.
I feel like as a country, we're pretty close to that point, though. Like, we're getting closer by the year to, like, slowly trust in the government is decreasing. People nowadays, if you ask someone like our age group what they think happened to JFK, a lot of people are going to say, like, dude, he got assassinated by the feds. Yeah. Same with MLK. It's like pretty obvious he got smoked by the feds. But like, we're probably only a few decades away from, like, I don't know, we might have a revolution soon, bro. Yeah. Like, I feel like there's never been a lower point in government trust than now. Like, post-World War II, everyone was just like, dude, the U.S. government's amazing, bro. Fucking listen to everybody. The FBI only works for the good of our people. And, like, that sentiment's gone, dude.
Right. Yeah. Well, and they've now openly admitted to things, like the Vietnam War, where they said, you know, originally, oh, we were attacked, and we were defending ourselves. Now it's, we weren't attacked. We were the aggressors the whole time. You know, like, things like that puts distrust in the government, because there have been no huge changes or policies or, like, amendments to make us think that this sort of thing couldn't happen again. All that ever happened was they were like, all right, we're sorry we did that.
Oops.
Yeah, what makes us think if they did that 40 years ago, they're not doing that today, you know?
You're not fucking wrong, dude.
So, I think, we're probably not far away from, if something like that came out and was public, I think, we would probably have a revolution.
Damn. I mean, I can't publicly say we should have a revolution because I feel like I'll get whacked next. But, like, man, I'd be cheering. I'd be cheering. That's for sure. Well, Kyle, I got some real juicy lore for you today. Some stuff that has really recently impacted me. Before we dive into that, though, I want to go take another shot. You want to get more fucked up? I'm going to be honest, guys. I feel like I'm too sober for this show right now. I'm like a Gobcast level of intoxicated. And, I mean, this is not where I need to be for Crackheads. Well, yeah, okay, yesterday was different, dude. We had... Oh, my God, dude. I'm not even going to say what we had yesterday. I'll be right back, though. No thoughts in the studio. I am feeling much better now.
After 18 minutes of intoxication.
You're feeling good?
Yep.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, Kyle, listen, I got to fill you in on my conspiracy for the week. And I'm going to be honest, we have pretty different conspiracies. Yours is like very based in facts with some proof. I definitely still have some facts, but mine is really a gut feeling. This is a personal one for me, you know? And before I share my conspiracy, let me explain why I chose this conspiracy for this week. So, as you're aware, and maybe many of you watching are aware, yesterday, November 12th, 2025, Congress officially passed the 2026 spending bill, ending the government shutdown. And at the very end of that voting process, a senator named Mitch McConnell, who is pretty notorious, snuck an amendment into the 2026 spending bill, which effectively bans the entire hemp industry. THCA, full spectrum CBD, Delta-8, the whole shebang. My brand effectively just got diagnosed with a terminal disease that lasts for a year before I die, right? What the amendment specifically stated was it changed the definition of federally legal hemp. Up until now, the 2018 Farm Bill said that any marijuana product or cannabis product with more than 0.3% Delta-9 THC by weight was federally considered cannabis and illegal, right? It was regulated differently, which allowed brands like my own, Only Gas, to exist. It allows brands like our sponsor, Five, to exist. It allows CBD vendors to exist, right? An amendment was snuck in that changes that wording to 0.4% of total cannabinoid content, total THC content per container, right? Which in effect bans pretty much every single product on the hemp market right now. If you order from my website, if you walk into a smoke shop and you see CBD or other products on the shelf, all of that got banned with the literal snap of a finger, right? The reason that this amendment was snuck into the 2026 spending bill is because a couple months prior to now, it was originally added to the 2026 Farm Bill and shot down pretty quickly. It did not make it very far. It never got passed because the hemp industry, the THCA industry, the Delta-8 industry, the CBD industry has exploded into a $30 billion industry that employs over 300,000 people in our country alone, right? Mm-hmm. It is a massive industry providing literally hundreds of thousands of jobs, right? Now, you might wonder, Kyle, why would the government want to ban that big of an industry and eliminate that many hundreds of thousands of jobs? Well, let me tell you why. Because big tobacco and big alcohol, the two main opponents to the industry that I operate in, hate us because we're costing them money. And my conspiracy today is a very important one, Kyle. You see, I personally believe that synthetic cannabinoids, right, such as spice or K2 or THCP or even Delta-8, which a lot of you are wondering, what do you mean Delta-8 synthetic? I'll explain briefly in just a moment. All of those questionable, sketchy, illegitimate products, I believe, are manufactured by pharmaceutical giants to help illegitimize the medical industry and the recreational and the entire cannabis movement to hinder our progress, right? Think about this for a minute. Why would a company go out of their way to choose to create these gas station edibles, which politicians are so harshly pursuing, right? Think about, THCP or THCO, which are two synthetic cannabinoids. Think about even before those came along, spice or K2. Who is manufacturing those products? Who has the most incentive to manufacture those products? As someone like myself who owns a brand in the industry, who employs people in this industry, I will tell you right now from my own knowledge, synthetic cannabinoid products make up a very, very small market share of the hemp industry. Very small. Any operator who is entering the hemp industry has very little incentive to manufacture a synthetic product, right? Because as it stands right now, natural products are very cheap to make, and it is cheaper to make synthetic ones, but you would have to do extreme volume, selling tens of thousands of bags, if not hundreds of thousands of bags per month to see a real difference in your margins manufacturing synthetic versus natural products, right? So any logical person who is entering the hemp space that wants to go into the business is more than likely to just choose to produce a THCA product or a natural product because it's so affordable already, and you avoid the negative perception of being a gas station product, being a gas station edible, right? Now, I don't just say this because I believe oh, dude, I have a hunch, I think, right? Let me tell you something pretty crazy. As early as a decade ago, in 2016, major American pharmaceutical companies were publicly admitting to funding anti-cannabis movements due to a quote-unquote fear of losing shareholder value and market share to cannabis companies. Let me pull up this article right here. Now, this article is almost a decade old, so I want you to just think about this for a second. If pharmaceutical companies were already sharing this sentiment 10 years ago, where do you think they're at now as the hemp industry has directly impacted their profits and exploded into a $30 billion industry, right?
Right.
Read this real quick. Let me scroll down real quick. Recently, we saw the first direct evidence of pharmaceutical companies now working to defeat marijuana legalization efforts, acknowledging that their intent is to protect their market in synthetic opioid drugs. Because, really think about it for a second. A pain patient going and instead of choosing to get an OxyContin prescription or getting a narco prescription or whatever opiate they may get,
right,
choosing to go buy CBD, full spectrum CBD to relieve their pain, is directly costing pharmaceutical companies money. Earlier this month, and by this month, I mean September of 2016, Insys Therapeutics Incorporated, an Arizona-based company, donated $500,000 to a group calling itself Arizonans for Responsible Drug Policy, a newly formed organization established to try to defeat Prop 205, the marijuana legalization vote that will appear on the ballot this November in the state. Now, we all know that nowadays Arizona has legal marijuana, so this didn't succeed, obviously. However, this is the first documented evidence of a pharma company directly spending money to go against legal weed, right? Insys currently markets just one single product called Subsys, a sublingual fentanyl spray, a synthetic opioid far more potent than heroin. Quote unquote, Insys Therapeutics made $62 million in net revenue on Subsys fentanyl sales in the first quarter of this year, Kyle. Net revenue. The net revenue is pure profit. Gross revenue is before any deductions. Net, like, dude, they literally made and pocketed $62 million in one single quarter, right? Representing 100% of the company's earnings, because that's the only product they sell. According to the Washington Post, that is. The CDC has implicated the drug in a surge of overdose deaths in several states in recent years. This company is directly killing American citizens and making $60 million a quarter doing it, right? Survey data compiled from medical marijuana patients shows that subjects often reduce their use of prescription drugs, particularly opioids, when they have legal access to cannabis. So that right there is proof that this industry is directly impacting big pharma, right?
Right.
Now, Insys, the company that makes this fentanyl spray, has recently come under scrutiny of law enforcement. According to the Washington Post, a number of states are currently investigating Insys for illegally paying physicians to prescribe their drugs in situations in which it was inappropriate. Illinois Attorney General Lisa Madigan filed a lawsuit against the company, claiming the company's desire for increased profits led to a disregard for patients' health and pushing addictive opioids to non-FDA approved purposes, right? Now, what I've told you so far, correct me if I'm wrong, is pretty fucked up, right? Mm-hmm. It's pretty fucked up. That is actually the more tame part of this article, Kyle. You see, here's the real smoking gun. When the company first made its $500,000 contribution to the group opposing the Arizona legalization initiative, the largest single contribution to the group by a factor of 4, the second biggest donor donated less than $200,000. They donated $500,000 alone. The company claimed that its reason for opposing the voter initiative was, quote unquote, because it fails to protect the safety of Arizona's citizens and particularly its children. But a lesser known fact is whenever a company is publicly lobbying for a certain cause, they are legally required to file a disclosure statement with the SEC, right? The big dogs, the feds, want to know their true intents. And if you lie on those intents, it can cost you your entire company. So generally, big corporations don't play around on these filings. They will tell the truth. They might lie to the public, but they will tell the truth to the SEC. Mm-hmm. And in their SEC filing, they acknowledged to shareholders that they were making the donation because they feared a decline in sales of its powerful opioid product and that of a second new drug they're also developing, dronabinol, a synthetic cannabinoid. Synthetic cannabinoid is a blanket term for an artificial version of THC, the active compound in weed, as we all know, intended to alleviate chemotherapy-caused nausea and vomiting. The company concedes, that the scientific literature has confirmed the benefits of natural marijuana over synthetic products. So this company not only manufactures opiates, but they're now directly creating a synthetic THC, a synthetic marijuana product, and then spending millions of dollars lobbying against natural cannabis products. Why would they do that? Obviously, because they're making a synthetic product. Mm-hmm. Now, this is a very rare instance of a publication of a big pharma company doing this. Most big pharma companies have learned from this and have kind of shushed up a little bit, you know? They're not going to start doing shit like this until the hemp ban fully takes effect. Quote unquote, legalization of marijuana or non-synthetic cannabinoids in the United States could significantly limit the commercial success of any dronabinol product candidate, and dronabinol being the synthetic cannabinoid that they're manufacturing. If marijuana or non-synthetic cannabinoids were legalized in the U.S., the market for our product would likely be significantly reduced, and our ability to generate revenue and our business prospects would be materially adversely affected. The Arizona Republic, which is a news publication, reported that the company, while public claiming to have kids' best interests in mind, is clearly more concerned with ways to protect their own bottom line. And the company has great reason for that fear. Recently published studies have found that states that provide for legal use of medical marijuana had a 25% decline in opioid prescriptions. And mind you, this was 9 years ago, Kyle. I think it's safe to say that percentage has likely increased with the legalization of recreational use, right?
Right.
Another recent study from Columbia University found that the implementation of medical marijuana programs is associated with a decrease in the prevalence of opioids detected among fatally injured drivers. That's an insane stat. They are drug testing people who die in car accidents at random and finding that on average, those individuals have less opiates in their system when they are in legal cannabis states, right? That is a completely random sampling. It's not like they're only testing opiate users with prescriptions or they're only testing smokers. They're literally testing random people who die in car accidents and finding that data, which is unbelievably powerful. Imagine if they actually tested opiate people with prescriptions or former prescriptions.
Right.
That data would be much more damning. And that's based on a majorly huge review of 69,000 vehicle fatalities in 18 states. And this is published by the American Journal of Public Health. Definitively, it says that where legal marijuana is legal, people use far fewer opioid drugs, right? So here we have direct proof that a pharmaceutical giant is spending money to lobby against legal cannabis while manufacturing their own synthetic products. Now, another part of this that is honestly super, super damning, and this is me speaking more from industry experience. Like I said earlier, synthetic products are just not much cheaper than selling real THC products. The cost of buying, let's say, 1,000 grams of THC, like real THC distillate, is not very different than buying Delta 8 distillate. And an important thing to mention here, right? A lot of these gas station edibles, as they're called, contain Delta 8 as one of the main ingredients. Delta 8 is paraded by a lot of questionable vendors as an all-natural product and an all-natural chemical that is found naturally in the cannabis plant. The interesting thing about Delta 8 is that it is found in such trace amounts naturally in cannabis that it's effectively near impossible to naturally extract it. Okay. These brands that are making Delta 8 products are synthesizing it in labs and then putting it into their gummies or their carts or whatever they may put it into and then calling it natural because, hey, it's found naturally in the plant, right? It's the same thing as, are you familiar with 7-0 and Kratom? Mm-hmm. 7-0 is the same thing. All these 7-0 brands are always like, dude, it's found naturally, but 7-0 is actually a trace chemical in natural kratom. It's not like an active major component in your experience when you take leaf kratom. It's synthesized 9 out of 10 times, and that's being like generous to the manufacturers, right? Also, these synthetic products represent a significantly smaller market share than natural products. So when you think about it, let's say hypothetically, Kyle, you made a new brand in the THCA, the hemp industry today. Would you rather pursue making synthetic products, which cost maybe 20% less to manufacture, in exchange for having a far larger than 20% less market share, like a way smaller market share? Would you rather just go natural and just manufacture a profitable product with no negative public perception?
Yeah.
I think the answer is pretty straightforward there. Am I right?
Yeah.
You know? It makes no sense to manufacture these synthetic gas station products unless you are a pharmaceutical giant that is going out of their way to illegitimize the entire legal cannabis industry. And this is bigger than just hemp. This is the whole industry. Now, here is what is, in my opinion, the real smoking gun. You see, back in 2018, during Donald Trump's first term of presidency, Mitch McConnell was one of the leading forces behind the 2018 Farm Bill. The 2018 Farm Bill is the bill that directly defined hemp as being less than 0.3% Delta-9 THC by weight. The bill that effectively legalized my brand, Five's brand, and every other hemp brand on the market, right? Now, thanks to the way our government works, we are able to publicly see how much money everyone spends on lobbying politicians, right?
Mm-hmm.
In my personal opinion, lobbying politicians shouldn't even be legal.
Right.
Because you are just directly paying a politician to vote a certain way for your benefit, right?
Yeah.
But let me tell you something absolutely unbelievable, okay? This is, mind you, alcohol, pharmaceuticals, and tobacco all want hemp banned because we eat into all three industries' profits. Do you want to know something crazy, Kyle? How much money do you think Mitch McConnell got to slip this ban into the spending bill? Mitch alone. How much? Like, if you had to guess, how much money do you think the beer, wine, and liquor, the alcohol lobby alone paid him?
100 mil?
Okay, you're kind of smoking dick, actually. It's way less than that. $100 million is crazy, dude.
Oh, really?
That's like how much, dude, your concept of money is fucked up, dude. This guy moves to LA and $100 million is pocket change, dude. That's kind of crazy. But let me tell you, Kyle. Mitch McConnell, who is the champion of this amendment to the 2026 spending bill, alone received $889,000 in lobbying money from big alcohol alone. This number does not factor in tobacco. This number does not factor in pharmaceutical. This is solely the alcohol industry. Now, who is effectively the co-author of this amendment? Who is sponsoring this amendment and championing it publicly? Chuck Schumer. How much did Chuck Schumer get in alcohol lobbying money, Kyle? $976,952, Kyle.
Wow.
These two guys collectively cashed out almost $2 million alone from alcohol alone. And you mean to tell me that this amendment was submitted in genuine good faith, even though Mitch McConnell, the senator who initially championed the legalization of hemp, is the one who submitted this amendment? Why would he change his mind 6 years later? Do you think it's because he genuinely believed in changing his mind, or do you think it was the $900,000 that did it, Kyle?
Probably $900,000.
I think you're pretty on the money with that, dude. So now we've been put into a situation where we have 364 days at the time of recording right now to fight this. The problem is this amendment, the banning of hemp, the redefining of what, makes legal hemp, has been pushed through the government or attempted to push through multiple times before. Every year, our government does what's called the Farm Bill, and it just dictates like what our farmers do. 2018 Farm Bill is what legalized this entire industry. In the 2026 Farm Bill that they were voting on this year, they tried to slip this same amendment in, and it got shot down. It got smoked. It didn't even come close to passing. So now they're employing these dirty, dirty tricks and sliding it into the 2026 spending bill during a time where we are at the second longest government shutdown in American history, where there is immense pressure to reopen the government. I'm going to tell you right now, Mitch McConnell is enjoying a nice luxury dinner at Nobu right now. On the tobacco company's dime. Yeah. And meanwhile, we have to sit here and fight for our rights, not because any politicians genuinely believe we shouldn't have those rights, but simply because tobacco and alcohol and pharmaceutical companies have more money to spend than we do.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. So my personal belief is all these sketchy gas station products that fundamentally make no sense to manufacture from a brand owner standpoint are almost undercover CIA agents in a sense, in the sense that it's really big pharma and big tobacco manufacturing these sketchy products to then show them to the government and be like, look, dude, kids are overdosing on this shit. And it's not that at all. It's not that at all, Kyle. It is extremely fucked up. I'll tell you one thing right now, okay? This past week has shown me that the American government is fucked up. The American government is a horrible entity that this is a bipartisan thing. Regardless of where you vote, where you align, the American government does not have your interest. They have the interest of their greatest bank account, okay? Their greatest donor is who they fight for. It's not you. It's not me. It's not any of us. It is their biggest donor. That's what they fight for. So you know what? Next time you go to a gas station, if you see a synthetic cannabis product on the shelf, slap it off the shelf and leave, And with that being said, I'm pissed the fuck off and I'm taking my hat off because I'm pissed off. I'm pissed off. I spoke my truth just now, and I'm pissed the fuck off, dude. Kyle, I'm pissed the fuck off, dude.
Yeah.
Yes. Shot. Yeah, shot. No, shot. Cut. Shot. Wow, dude, we took an extra shot. Pretty nice, huh? I got a question for us this week, dude. An open-ended question. You know, what I wanted to talk about this week is I want to know what's the worst bag of weed you've ever bought and what'd you do with it? Do you want me to send it or do you want you to go?
You start.
Okay. I vividly remember the worst bag I've ever bought. I remember I was at Cody's house and this was like, I think it was sophomore year of high school. It was either sophomore or like first semester of junior year before I got kicked out of our main school. And a couple days prior to this happening, I was talking to one of my classmates, this dude named Dylan. We had this computers class together, and he was like, you know how like back when we were still in school, our friend group is generally kind of known as like, oh, if you want to buy weed, like you hit one of these degens up, you know? And he came up to me in class. I think he was a grade above me, if I remember correctly. And he was like, hey, dude, like, I want to grab some weed this weekend. Like, could you help me out? Well, very casual thing. We added each other on Snapchat. Didn't think much of it. Dipped out, right? A couple days later, I go over to Cody's house. And, like, this guy had hit me up that same day and asked to grab a bag. And, like, I'm going to be honest, I'm drunk right now, and this happened close to a decade ago. So, like, I'm not going to tell the story perfectly. But what I do remember is I went over to Cody's house. And his other friend, coincidentally also named Nick, who you remember, you know, if you met him quite a few times, he came over as well. And he was supposed to match us. He brought over an eighth. I had brought, I don't remember how much weed Cody and I had, probably not as much as an eighth. But Nick came over with an 8, and like we're chilling in Cody's bedroom. He gets there, he walks in the room. We're all sitting there just kind of listening to music, and he pulls out his bag and he just puts it like he put it on a surface in front of us. I think it was like a plastic tote, if I remember correctly, something like that. He puts it down in front of us, and he's like, yeah, like, let's roll up. He doesn't say anything about the weed. He just puts it down thinking we're not going to say anything. And I remember we're looking at this bag, and it is the grossest fucking bag of weed I've ever seen. Like, it legitimately, Cody and I thought it was lawn clippings until we opened the bag. Like, we're like, dude, what the fuck is this? It was completely untrimmed. It was a whole eighth that literally you could tell nobody trimmed one time. It didn't have that standard bag of weed color where, like, even a shitty nug, you'll have like a variance in shades. Like the pistols, the hairs on it will be orange, and then the nug itself might be green or maybe a little more tan if it's old. This bag legitimately was like that plant shade of green, like pretty close to that fucking plant throughout the whole bag. You couldn't see any trichomes on the nugs. You couldn't see any pistols on the nug. Just a complete poverty nug, to the point where we're sitting there like, dude, is this even weed? Like, did you just get finessed? But when you held it up to your nose and you smelled it a little bit, very faintly, it was like, okay, this is just a really shitty bag of weed. And that was pretty much our only choice to smoke and all get high that night. So we're sitting there like, obviously none of us want to smoke this. If I remember correctly, I think we even tried a little bit of it and it was gross. But like, either way, obviously we're like, damn, we don't want to smoke this shit. Like, this is disgusting. So we're all talking amongst each other like, hey, do any of you guys have someone that we can like serve this bag to? Like, who is dumb enough to buy this bag? And I light up, dude. It's like a light bulb lights up over my head. I'm like, dude, Dylan from my computer class. I think it was a graphic design class I took, if I remember correctly. I don't know, though, because I showed up fucked up every day. Bobby was in the class, so you can imagine how that went. But, you know, I was like, Dylan, of course Dylan will want it. He just asked me to buy weed, and I can tell just by talking to him.
Was this the Dylan that looked like Jesus?
No. You didn't know this guy. This was not like our friend Dylan. This was like a different, like, random ass. This was the first and last time I ever met up with this guy outside of school, right? So I hit Dylan up on Snapchat, and I'm like, hey, like, I got some for you. Like, what do you need? And he's like, oh, dude, like, I'd love to grab an eighth. That's so great. So I remember we met his ass. We got in Nick's car because Nick had, you know, he was the wheels for the day. We got in Nick's car and we drove over to the AMC that you used to work at. And we met up in that parking lot, which little off topic, I want to ask you, how many drug deals go down in that parking lot?
So many. So many.
It's the perfect spot.
We had one like right before I left there that was like big,
Really?
like
They're moving bricks?
yeah. Our security guard found like a duffel bag full of drugs.
What?
And, yeah,
And he told you about it?
Yeah, the police came and got it, and I asked like, cause I guess he didn't like. I guess he didn't look inside the duffel bag. He just reported like a suspicious duffel bag, and the police came and got it. I guess, but
You should have.
then the police came and said it was full of drugs. I asked like what kind of drugs, and they wouldn't tell me. But yeah, they said it was a duffel bag full of drugs. They
Probably
found it in
blow.
the parking lot. That's kind of what I was assuming.
I feel like if it's a
but,
duffel bag full, it's got to be blow, dude.
yeah, but also like, then I wonder like, wouldn't a blow user be more paranoid than to like leave the duffel bag in the parking lot?
Maybe he got a bunch of bags, and that was just the one he couldn't take.
Or maybe that was part of it. Maybe he was too paranoid to stay there for the deal, so he had to just like leave the bag and dip. I don't know, but yeah. A lot of drug deals happen in that parking lot.
That was like the serve parking lot. Like
We-
that was perfect.
We had to clean the parking lot weekly, and we would find probably a dozen condoms every week. Like,
I mean, dude, you and I have done countless questionable things in that exact lot.
yeah,
You remember when we gave Peyton her first line of ketamine in
Yep.
that lot, and then she started puking out the side door of the Honda?
yep.
I'll never forget that day.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, though, we're getting lost in some other stories. But effectively, we went to that AMC to serve Dylan his 8th of pretty much lawn clippings is what it amounted to. And we pull up, dude, I'll never forget his face. And like, I can literally close my eyes and I can't see the rest of the night, but I can see the serve that we did with Dylan. He pulled up, he was in this black Jeep, bro. And we were in Nick's car, which I don't even remember Nick's car, but I remember the black Jeep. And he's sitting in the car. No one ever got out of the car. It was super quick, super easy finesse. We handed him the bag. I don't remember who handed him the bag, but we handed over the bag. He handed over, I think it was $50 for the worst bag, the worst 8th ever, bro. Literally the shittiest weed of all time. Some snack crackle pop, fucking Rice Krispie ass smoke. And we took his $50 and we went back to Cody's house and bought a real bag off his brother.
Yeah.
We were like, yo, $50, baby. And his brother, bro, he always had fire.
Yeah.
Like for the time, his
yeah.
brother had fire,
Yeah.
dude.
For when we were 18. Yeah.
I'm not going to say his plug's name, his brother, but you probably remember the guy. It's the guy who bought my Gucci flip-flops one time. That was fucking legendary spot. That was always where we got our weed. So, you know, we fucking threw him the $50, got a real smokable bag of weed, and we're chilling out that night smoking, and Dylan hits me up on Snapchat later that night. I don't remember much beyond that because we got fucked up that night. So like, I don't remember if I opened it or not. But what I do remember out of this is I had class with this guy the next day. So like I go to my computer class and I'm sitting down and there was 3 rows of computers. So imagine there's like the top row, a little lower, there's the middle row, and then there's the bottom. Dylan sat like, if I remember correctly, it was the front left of the top row. And I was the right side of the middle row. And he never came up to me and confronted me. Like he was never like, yo, you fucked me over, you finessed me. But he would like mug me. He would look back and he'd be like every now and then I'd be working on my little graphic design project and he just like just fucking turn around and just mug me, dude. And it was so uncomfortable. Eventually he forgot about it pretty quickly. Maybe he didn't forget, but he just stopped mugging me. But that first week was super awkward. And I was never, I mean, dude, you knew me back in the day. I was never like a physically threatening guy, I feel like. Like I was the kind of guy, like if I finessed you out of $50, you'd probably walk up and be like, where's my $50, you fucking loser? You know, like I was never just like, you know, I'm not rocking teardrop tattoos and shit. But like he never came up and said anything. It was the easiest finesse ever. And like we actually got a good bag of weed out of it. So when I think of the worst bag of weed I've ever bought, I think of a great outcome, you know? When I think of the worst bag of weed I bought and had to smoke, I mean, fuck, dude. I've smoked some bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
You know? You remember Chin is what we called him?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
That guy sold me the worst bag of weed I ever smoked.
Yeah.
That guy sold some bull fucking shit.
I was
and it was in I call him Nate in my videos. You know who I'm talking about? We used to go to his garage. I don't want to like real name drop him. We used to go, it was at that garage I bought the bag of weed that I had to smoke. I couldn't get rid
Bearded
of it.
Nate.
Yes. Yeah. But it was like, yes, Bearded Nate. Bearded Nate. But like, it was, cheap enough where I wasn't upset about it. I was okay with it. What about you? What's the worst bag of weed you ever bought?
That I ever bought? Now that you mention it, was probably from Chin. Yeah,
really?
That
Same
was
fucking guy?
awful. That was awful. Yeah.
He was known for selling shit.
Just the worst. But what came to mind when you asked the question, though, I didn't necessarily purchase it. But it was when I was going to community college.
Okay.
There was this one kid in one of I think it was like my speech class or something. He was just one of those kids you could tell had a rough life, like just.
You looked at him and you were like, damn, bro, he's going to serve me some mid out that trailer.
He'd give presentations and like his presentations were just depressing and like, like he was one of those like good kids that just like had a rough upbringing.
You felt the poverty energy.
Yeah. And like the poverty and the like, parents that didn't give a shit and like, just, that sucks, So like, there was one day he was like stranded at school and he was like he didn't have any money for an Uber, but he also like didn't have a ride home. And I'm like, dude, like, I got you. I'll give you a ride home. Right. So I'm giving him a ride. And right as we're like about to pull up to his house, he's like, you know what? There's like a liquor store across the street. Do you think we could stop there real quick? I'm like, across the street? Yeah, no problem. Whatever. So we stop at the liquor store, go to his house. He's like, you know what? Like, I really appreciate the ride and I want you, like, I don't have any money to give you, but I want to give you something. So I'm going to give you this weed. I'm like, you don't have to give me any weed, bro. Like, it's just a ride home.
Already.
I'm like, it's just a ride home. Like, you're good, man. And he's like, no, I insist. So he comes out with this baggie and he gives me this baggie. I'm like, all right, I don't even look at it at the time because I'm not like, oh, is this like mid? Like, I didn't even look at it. I'm like, all right, cool, man. Have a good one. Take off. Because we weren't like close. Like, we weren't like friends or anything. I just saw this guy was like struggling and needed a ride home. So I gave him a ride home. He gives me the gram of weed. I go home and open the gram of weed. I'm like, all right, whatever. Guess I'll smoke this. I'm looking at it, and this is the stemmiest, like, least, like, there's no smell coming from the bag.
That's how you know it's rough.
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't even smell like weed. It's just stemmy. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, all right, whatever. It was free, So I'm not too picky with my weed. I can appreciate good weed, but I'm also not one to throw away bad weed generally.
Yes. I know that about you.
This is probably the only time that I can remember throwing away weed. I smoked one bowl of this and just remember this hot sensation in my lungs. Almost like it wasn't like, almost like if you just ground up a bowl of just stems, like no weed, just the stems, and just smoke that. That's what it felt like in my lungs, just hot,
I mean, I want to preface this by saying, for those guys who don't understand how shitty of weed Kyle's willing to smoke, literally not even 2 weeks ago, Chris, our producer, brought him a jar of the worst sun-grown bullshit I've seen.
It wasn't
in
even
years.
that bad. It wasn't even that bad.
It was pretty atrocious by my standards.
I smoked all of it.
And this guy right here smoked it down to the ash.
Do you remember that one time you left like an ounce of mid in my garage? I smoked all that too.
I do actually.
Yep. Yeah,
yes.
I remember you're like, you smoke it if you want. I don't care, man.
I didn't even want it.
Just bullshit, like it was so bad you didn't even want to look at it, and you came back like a couple days later, smoked it all.
Yeah,
like you smoked that.
You were like a weed garbage disposal.
Yeah,
like don't throw away your weed. Give it to Kyle, and he will smoke it.
That's a good way to put it.
So for you to say that you threw away a bag of weed is like that shit must have had gnats on it.
I think that was the only time I've ever done that. Yeah,
that's unbelievable.
Yeah.
What did you do to the guy you grabbed? Like who gave it to you? Did you say anything?
No, because we didn't like talk every day anyway. He was just some dude in my class. So I never said anything about it.
And it was free, so like you can't
I didn't
really
even want
complain.
it to begin with it. So,
yeah.
I wasn't shocked, but I just That just made me feel even worse for him. I'm like, oh my God. Like this guy I already felt bad for him. And this is the weed he smokes. Like this is what his plug gives him, you know? Like, damn. That is rough, man.
You know,
Like he paid money for that, you know?
Well, all right. Do we know if he paid money? Or like, did he
Yeah.
just, is it like a hand-me-down bag?
I'm sure
Like,
it wasn't a lot of money, but yeah.
some money.
He had a plug,
some money.
you know? Yeah.
Right? Okay. All right. Now, fuck it, dude. Let's read some comments, dude. Ladies and gents, boys and girls, buckle up. It's time to read our comments, which honestly, I think it's one of my favorite parts of the episode every week. I love seeing what you fucking tweakers have to say to us. And this week is definitely not an exception. Let me zoom in enough for us to properly read these. Okay. We have some long ones today. First and foremost, we have Iced Out Bart, no Simpson. And he says, come on, boys. We need the RSO cooking episode. Kyle, are you really going to follow through on your 5 gram RSO claim?
Yeah.
Because the episode we posted where we said 2,000 likes for you to eat 5 grams of RSO, we got 2,000 in less than 24 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, I did realize afterwards, like, because then after you were like 2,000 likes, I was like, how many is that? How many do we normally get? I think all of our videos have at least 2,000
Yeah,
likes.
it's not very many, but you were so cocky
it was pretty
about
much
it.
guaranteed I was going to do this anyway.
But like, bro, I'm trying to be a good friend to you right now and be like, dude, you shouldn't have agreed to that.
I'm telling you right now, don't worry about it. Like, I'll be fine.
Bro, I literally was the same way until I ate 5 grams of RSO.
But I've eaten 3.
I'm
I'll
traumatized.
be
No,
fine.
no, trust me.
I,
Maybe you're just this genetic alien that's just built differently. But like in my experience as a guy who also didn't feel shit from edibles, I ate 5 grams of RSO and got PTSD.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
I will never eat 5 grams again.
No.
I don't even do edibles anymore. I won't do it because of how crazy my experience was when I ate 5 grams.
I don't eat edibles a lot either, but it's because they don't work and they don't taste very good. So like,
Oh, RSO is horrible, buddy.
I know.
Buckle up.
I'll do it. Like,
Buckle
no
up.
problem. I'll put them in the cinnamon caps, just like Ashton
When
taught
do
us.
you, do you want to do a
pop
cooking
those.
episode, or how do you want to do it?
However you want. I cannot stress to you, I am not worried about this at all. I am more concerned when you say 1 shot of cheeseburger than I am about the RSO.
Seriously?
I am not sweating at all about
You
this.
would rather eat 5 grams of RSO
I
than
could do
1
it
cheeseburger and
right
1 bite.
now. I
Are
could
you
do it
serious?
right now. Like the RSO does not worry me one bit. Yeah. I'm not stressed.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Kyle. Well, listen, guys. One of these upcoming shows, we're going to feed Kyle 5 grams of RSO and document the entire thing. And, like, honestly, I feel like, because, listen, when I ate 5 grams of RSO, my high lasted 3 days total. Like, it didn't even really begin until I woke up the following day. And I realized, I literally thought I made myself retarded. Like, I thought I perma-fried myself.
Well, you have keys to my apartment, so you can come check on me.
I will.
I'll be fine.
I will. We're going to barge in and check on you, bro. And, like, if you go full retard, I'm not going to have any sympathy because I gave you a million outs and you stood on it. So, like, more power to you, Kyle. 5 grams of RSO
It'll
is coming
make
soon.
for the perfect clip. You could have a clip of me in this confident stage, and then you can cut to me
When do you want to do it?
anytime. Literally, I'd do it right now if you wanted me to. I don't care. I am not worried about it at all. Anytime. Tomorrow if you want. Right now if you want. I don't care.
What are you doing for Thanksgiving?
Nothing. You can do it for Thanksgiving. That's fine.
Let's do it that week.
Okay.
Let's do it that week.
All right.
We'll do like a couple days before just so everyone can go see their families and stuff. But like, yeah.
Okay.
Yep, Thanksgiving week. Okay, Kyle. No, more power to
Are
you,
they going to
dude.
see this before Thanksgiving week? Well,
No,
I
no,
guess-
we're gonna film it
'cause
during
then
Thanksgiving week.
will come out 3 weeks after.
I guess you guys are now finding out. We film a few weeks in advance
Right,
here just
right.
to give ourselves time to,
Right.
adjust things and everything. But okay, dude. No.
Okay.
I'm deeply looking forward to this.
Okay.
As a guy who firmly believed edibles didn't affect him until the edibles affected him, I'm really, really excited to see this. And I will say right now, if you pull through this with no impact, you're the GOAT.
Okay.
You're the GOAT. I'll
you.
say that right now. Like, I will genuinely be proud.
You're gonna
like,
be very
like a
proud.
father watching his son
Yeah.
take his first steps.
You're
It'll
going
be
to
like,
be shook. I already know we're gonna get comments. They're gonna be like the RSO was fake, or like I'm gonna be
no. You got to do it. When I did it, I left no room for that. Like you eat all of it on camera. That's it.
Absolutely
Literally
fine. Do whatever you want.
You could do it however you want, but the way I did it is I put it on saltine crackers.
I prefer the empty cinnamon capsules because
that makes it take longer.
It's fine. Whatever.
Okay.
Okay. But yeah, those just make it, because otherwise it gets stuck in your teeth and it's just
it is pretty
nightmare.
gross.
It's so sticky. So
yeah,
I like the capsules just because it's not sticky. But whatever you want to do, I don't care.
I mean, bro, 5. Fuck. Okay. No, all right. No, more power to you, Kyle. No, seriously, more power to you. Okay. Next up, we have PPO 79, and PPO has a kind of crazy comment. He says, as a Mississippian that lives on the border of Louisiana, Pearl River County, the monkeys escaped very often. This is apparently the monkeys, the HIV, Hep C fucking monkeys that escaped from the crashed truck. That's apparently a regular occurrence in Mississippi on the border of Louisiana. He says this is probably the 5th or 6th time diseased apes have escaped from a facility or during transport in my lifetime. I've always wanted to hunt one down and get it taxidermied. Shit would be tough as hell.
Wow.
I mean, imagine how, like, dude, you're just chilling. It's like, dude, the AIDS monkeys escaped again.
Right.
They're like running through your yard like, fuck, I hope I can taxidermy.
You get a little notification on your phone. You're like, not again.
It's like out here, you know how in California they send the Amber Alerts to your phone?
Yeah.
It's like they're just like, the monkeys have escaped again.
You think so? Like, you know, like in Alaska, they have like, it's not a law, but it's like a gentleman's agreement or social etiquette. You leave your car door unlocked in case there's polar bears, so people can hide.
Thing?
Yeah, people can hide in your car if they see a polar bear.
It's community.
I wonder if there's like anything like that going down in Louisiana or Mississippi, like just in case there's an AIDS monkey, you know.
My car's unlocked if you need to hide from the AIDS monkeys.
Yeah.
No problem.
Well, yeah. I'm sure part of it is, I think also Alaska has like a ridiculously low crime rate as well. Because I think the cost of living up there is really high.
Well, and also, like in Alaska, where do you flee to when you commit a crime?
Right.
You can't leave the state. You border Canada, the coldest ocean in the world.
Yeah, you swim to Russia.
Yeah. Good fucking luck swimming to Russia.
Yeah.
Like, that's not going to be fun.
Hey.
Next up here, you go ahead and read this one. This one's about you, Kyle.
Grunto Skunko says, love Kyle name dropping Joe Jorgensen of all people. We were just talking about her.
We were literally... During our intermission to take shots, we were talking about Joe Jorgensen.
I was literally just gassing up Joe Jorgensen just 30 minutes ago.
Why do you like her?
She's cool. She's a libertarian. That is the political party that I would affiliate with. I don't like the Democrats. I don't like the Republicans.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say I don't like. I do like a lot of both of their sides. But the problem is, most people feel like you have to choose one or the other. I feel like there's certain topics on each side that I, side with, and certain topics on each side that I disagree with.
Yep.
Joe Jorgensen being a libertarian, libertarians are more anti-government. We want less regulation, less laws, less taxes.
Yep.
Those are all things I support. I think that everybody should be able to protect, I think that gay married couples should be able to protect their marijuana plants with guns.
Based, 100%.
And then get an
My
abortion. My
gayest homie better be able to tote an AR in his weed farm.
Correct.
Or else this is not America.
Right.
Straight up.
Freedom.
If my
Freedom
boy
is
wants
what I
to
want.
suck dick in front of his plants and then blow your shit back with an AR, that's what America's all about,
That's
bro.
right. That's right.
100%.
And then he wants an abortion, go for it.
Uh-huh. Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes.
Freedom.
Suck dick in a gay way.
Make your own
and
decisions.
then fuck a woman and abort that baby. And then smoke somebody on your porch.
Yep.
America. That's what it's about, dude. 100.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah. No, so I'm just about freedoms. I think people should be able to do what they want, and you should mind your own business if you disagree.
Yep.
So, you don't like weed? Okay, don't smoke weed. You don't like abortion? Don't get an abortion. That's fine. You know? Like, yeah. So I think people should mind their own business. So that's why I support Joe Jorgensen. I obviously I realized she wasn't gonna win, but
Yeah.
my thing is with that logic, if nobody ever votes libertarian because they're always under the assumption that they're never gonna win, that will always be the case. You have to kind of, you know, not to be cliche, but you have to be the change that you want to see in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to see a candidate that never gets any votes get votes, you have to give them votes, you know?
You know, I personally feel like the libertarians need to deploy what I call the Trump tactic. I think for a second term during 2024, Trump campaigned on a ton of stuff that he's not following through on. And he's doing a ton of things in office that he never campaigned on. Right? That's at least my opinion. And I think what the libertarians need to really do to win is just run as a Democrat. Like, just don't go full libertarian until you're in office. Because, like, at the end of the day, like, I agree with you 100%. The problem is, with that logic, I feel like we won't ever get a majority share.
Right.
Like, we won't ever get enough Americans to vote for someone with that logic to win.
Right.
You know?
That's, you know what? Like, it's funny you say that. That's kind of, my fingers were crossed when Trump first ran for his first election. I was kind of hoping that's what was happening, as I was hoping somebody was just libertarian and running for office under one of these parties, and they weren't a politician, but then once they got in office, they were going to, you know, do what was actually right.
Do something
that's
good.
What I was hoping.
Yeah.
That's what I was,
Unfortunately,
fingers crossed.
our political system is so deeply corrupt that, I mean,
He
it
is
would
another politician now.
I think it would nearly take a revolution to reestablish our political system. Because, like, dude, Democrats and Republicans are both dirty as fuck.
Right.
It's all about lobbying money with
Yeah,
them.
it doesn't matter which side
know?
you choose. They have their agenda and they're sticking with it, and there's money behind it, and you don't have enough money to change their mind. You know? So,
yes.
Yeah.
Hey, government. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you, dude. Kyle, fire off the next comment for us, dude. This one's also about you.
Fluffy Doomsdays. Oh, about me, huh?
Yeah,
How many
buddy.
subscribers does the pod need to get Kyle into that bird sanctuary? I want to see him with a parrot on his shoulder.
Let's conquer that fear.
You can get over your feel. Do it for the content.
I know where a bird sanctuary is here in LA. I've been to it before. There's one at the LA History Museum. They have it's seasonal. It's closed now, but like spring to summer of next year, there's a big bird sanctuary. And Kyle, I'll tell you right now, I don't know what your opinion is, but the people will love to see you conquer your fear. And I'll tell you from my experience, one of my biggest fears for my whole life was flying. And I conquered it by flying over and over. You could conquer your fear of birds by dapping up birds over and over.
Oh man, I don't like this.
Like what? Okay, no, but like what about birds is really scary? Like what is this?
Nothing. Like there's nothing in particular. I just had a really bad trip, and they're like, you know, and they haunt me now.
So you even logically know that
Yes.
this is an irrational
Like,
fear.
yes,
Like
I
you know
it's
that in your
irrational.
brain.
Like, so remember before I got the Maserati, like I had to walk to work.
The Maserati.
I would reroute if I saw too many birds on the sidewalk. Like I'd find a different way to work. Like if there was, you know, sometimes like there were these telephone poles that were next to the sidewalk, and sometimes there'd be too many birds on the telephone poles, and I'd be like, "Yo, if I walk under there, they're gonna swarm me," and I'd find a different way to work.
Like there are a bunch of vultures that just gonna start feeding
I
on
would
you.
reroute and walk. I would take the long way to work so that I didn't get attacked by birds, which I knew good and well. Like logically, nobody gets fucking attacked by birds.
Yeah.
Just walking down the sidewalk.
Has there
like-
ever been a recorded bird death? Like,
Probably not.
wait, no, we're
Like,
Googling that right now.
So
How many deaths by bird have ever happened? Is that the right way to word that, or am I drunk? There is no exact total forever, but human deaths from direct bird attacks are extremely rare, with very few recorded fatalities in history. Most bird-related fatalities are a result of indirect causes like bird-aircraft collisions, which resulted in 10 injuries and 10 fatalities per year globally between 88 and 2024. So, dude, birds fuck with you, Kyle.
yeah,
They would never hurt you. They would just crash the plane you're on.
Yeah. Yeah, I know it's irrational. Like, they don't even have the tools to hurt me, really. They don't have really, like, claws or teeth, but...
I mean, bro, think how
I don't
easy it
know,
would
man.
be if a bird lands on you and starts pecking your neck to just choke him to death with one hand.
Do you remember when my dad was, like, kind of like... He was, like, really struggling to sleep, and he was kind of losing his mind for a little bit?
Yeah, of course I remember that. That's when he told me about his love for fat
One of the
chicks.
scariest moments in my life, I woke up to him screaming one day, and I thought he had been, like, stabbed or something. It was such a crazy scream. I opened my bedroom door, and it was a bird flying around in my living room. That was one of the scariest moments in my life, because I knew my dad
literally
was...
your nightmare
my
come
dad
true.
was not in the right headspace to deal with it, so it had to be me. You know, like, I was like, shoot.
What did
Like,
you
there's
do?
a-
How'd you get him out?
I actually just I basically tricked my dad into doing it.
Ah.
Yeah.
Daddy's got a gun.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
I mean, prior to that trip you had, though, you weren't scared at all of birds? Like, it's solely just a bad trip thing for you?
Yeah. No, I don't have any fear of being, or I don't have any memory of being like afraid of birds or even acknowledging birds prior to that trip.
Bro, let's drop acid and go to the bird sanctuary and change your chemistry in your brain.
Oh my God.
Let's go. Dude, we'll make you so friendly with birds, you might get a parakeet.
Dude,
You know?
be the same.
I would love to see a parakeet in the studio. Imagine he flies over and lands on a shoulder. He's like, squaw, squaw. That'd be sick.
No.
Not bad for suggesting it, dude. That's all right, though. The next comment we have here from Carl Grandisa 2303. Buddies from the future, I guess. He said, shooting 12-year-old bourbon hurt my soul. You sip and enjoy that, not shoot it like cheap liquor. And we actually have a double feature right now because we got countless comments mad at us for shooting 12-year-old liquor.
The Macallan?
Yes, we also had Clinton here, and he said, you're not supposed to shoot Macallan 12, LMAO.
Oh.
Let me tell you fuckers something, okay? The man who bought the bottle determines what's done with it, okay? I will never in my life let some guy on YouTube tell me what to do with my bottle of Macallan 12. In fact, I'm going to buy a bottle of Macallan 21 in the coming days and take shots of that. We're going to start rage baiting here. I want the oldest bottle I've ever had. Kyle, one
We
time
should get fine wines and take
Bro,
shots.
I was about to say, when I was in NorCal in April of this year, I went up to Monterey. I took my girl to this nice little restaurant. It was for a birthday and shit. I drank a wine that was from before World War I drank a wine that was over 100 years old. It was literally one of the most delicious alcohols I've ever drank. I am more than willing to buy a bottle. It was a Madeira, I think 1904.
Yeah, we should
correctly?
just take shots of that.
Yes, 100% I'll do it. 100% I'll do it. Because listen, let me tell you
I'll
something.
still chase it with Gatorade.
This is the alcoholic equivalent of pocket watching. Okay? Whenever I hop on my Twitch streams and I buy a bunch of Pokemon cards, everyone's like, Goblin, bro, you shouldn't do that, dude. Only Gas just got banned. You're a poor retard now. Okay? Don't ever tell me how to drink my liquor. Don't
No,
ever
it's
tell
true.
Kyle how to drink his liquor.
One time,
Right?
I suggested that he use a certain set of Counter-Strike skins, and he got very upset about it.
What do you mean?
I was like, you should use these gloves with this knife, and you were like, listen, you buy that glove and that knife.
That's right, because listen the fuck up. Nobody can tell me how to apply my drip. Nobody can tell me how to drink my liquor and pop out. Nobody. I'll never take that. Because listen, at the end of the day, I'm not the kind of person who minds other people's business, right? So, like, when I see someone else taking a shot of a beautiful bottle of alcohol they shouldn't take a shot, I would never say that. I would never comment on that. I would say, honestly, I'd almost respect it. It's like, my mentality on this. Go ahead.
Wait till I take a dab out of a dirty rig.
Okay, well, that's okay. True, you're not wrong, but I'm just looking out for you as a friend. Like, you already took the dab. Like, okay, the way I envision that is like, bro, imagine like you took a dirty glass out of your sink to take a shot from versus taking a clean one from the cabinet.
Yeah.
That's how I view that.
Yeah,
you
no,
know?
you're right.
I'm always telling you, bro, grab the clean one.
You're right. You're not
You
wrong,
know?
but yeah.
But like, yeah, okay, yeah, you're right. No, you kind of just owned me. Actually, you are right. You are 100% right. Yeah, I do that because I mean, to be fair, Kyle, you up until recently, I damn near had to put a gun to the side of your head to make you clean your glass. Like, it was a fight, dude. And like, when I first moved to Cali, I would come back to visit, and Kyle would be in Illinois, and we'd be like chilling at your spot smoking, and you would bust out just a bong grimier
Putrid,
than the dirtiest LA whore I've ever met.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just rip it.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, bro.
No,
please,
that does.
Please let me help you.
And you were completely right too. Like that for sure. I should have cleaned my bongs. And like it does like, I have memories of like I'd have coworkers come over to smoke after work, and like they'd see my bong and no, you know.
Dude, you would let him get crazy.
Yeah.
I vividly, so many times I remember washing our bongs because remember when we used to share custody, like we're divorced parents?
Yes.
We used to throw in for bongs together, and I'd leave them at Kyle's house because my mom would throw them away
all the time.
Kyle had full custody. I was the abusive parent.
Yeah, but he had visitation rights.
I'd show up all the time for my kids, bro. I'd show up all the time for my fucking bloodline, right? Yep. And I remember so many times washing the bongs in your sink. We'd be sitting there in your kitchen just shaking the bongs up, fucking washing them and shit. Because I don't know if I'd call myself a germaphobe, but I'm very aware of those kind of things. Like, I carry hand sanitizer on my key ring, and every time I touch a public door handle, I sanitize. You know? Same thing with my smoke. When I smoke, even ever before I was smoking like heady shit, I was always really on that, you know? That's kind of how I was. But yeah, you kind of own me there though.
I have gotten a lot better though.
You have.
I would say once you gave me the grav or the Sav bong
for your birthday a couple years ago or whatever.
Yeah, I got a lot better about cleaning my bongs then.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I think that's the kind of bong where like you just inherently know.
Yeah,
like,
it just feels disrespectful to have it dirty. Yeah.
Like driving a Toyota now, I never get my interior detailed.
Right. Yeah.
Washed.
It'd be like driving.
When I had my Mercedes, I was vacuuming that bitch every other week.
Exactly. Yeah. When I had a $60 smoke shop bong, and it was like, all right, whatever, who cares? You know? Now it's like, okay, this is a nice piece of glass, you know?
Now, the next one I also want to read as well, because this one I really want to speak on from personal experience. You're going to read the rest of these, Kyle. You're on comment duty after this. But Jan Bun 6421 is talking about the Instagram protection racket. Do you remember a few weeks ago where I talked about how the Gobcast Instagram got banned and I was going to have to pay to get it unbanned?
Yes.
So Jan Bun says, Instagram running a protection racket on drug influencers is crazy. Why don't they get RICO'd? And you know what's really exciting for me to share? Is that finally, one of these Instagram services guys did get fucked.
Really?
You see, there was a guy in Las Vegas. Wait, why can't I click it's so zoomed in I couldn't even see it. So there was a guy in Las Vegas who, mind you, this was one of the biggest Instagram services people on the platform. And he got arrested and pled guilty to extorting Instagram users. Now, how this works is there's these Instagram services websites and profiles and individuals who will look for large influencers that are susceptible to getting extorted, influencers that they know need their Instagram account. They will maliciously abuse the system to get them banned and then reach out to them and offer a flat payment to get them unbanned. And then the cycle, once you submit that payment, the cycle just starts and they just ban you, unban you, ban you, get you unbanned.
Extortion.
It's literally extortion, right? So in Las Vegas, in early February of this year, a man has pled guilty to extorting and threatening Instagram users and influencers, according to court documents. Idris Kiba, 28 years old, pled guilty in February of this year to charges including extortion, money laundering, and stalking. The FBI arrested him last summer and said he extorted and threatened customers and Instagram influencers as part of a business to block and unlock social media accounts. He ran a website unlockedforlife.com and used the names Danny and Unlocked. He outlined an extortion scheme during a podcast in 2024. This guy went on No Jumper and snitched on himself for like 2 hours straight. You can literally type in No Jumper unlocked. I highly recommend you guys watch this podcast, honestly, because it will genuinely help you understand the shit that I and people like myself go through on Instagram. I have paid $6,000 for a single unban before. It's fucked up, right? He also said he made more than $600,000 a month through his website. And he said this publicly on a podcast. Bro, if you're banking $7.2 million per year and you go on a podcast and disclose that, you might be fucking retarded. Okay? The FBI said during the No Jumper podcast, he described locking victims, which means banning their pages, and then charging the victims to unlock the account. Unlockedforlife.com, which state records said was based in Henderson, Nevada, a town that's shortly outside of Las Vegas, advertised it could ban or unban social media accounts on Instagram, Snapchat, Telegram, and TikTok. And up until Elon bought Twitter, they were also offering the service on Twitter. The only social media platform that hasn't been penetrated by this is YouTube, interestingly enough. Okay? Now, he faces decades in prison, an official said. A judge will sentence him in May. Now, I haven't found any further info about his sentencing. I think he might still be fighting the case as far as I can tell, but if you guys find more info, let me know in the comments. When I was doing my research, I couldn't find anything beyond this article. So who knows, maybe he struck a deal or maybe who knows what happened. But this is, to my awareness, this is the first time any of these Instagram blackmailers has been genuinely convicted for this kind of thing. You know what's really interesting about this? I have a plug for this. I have an Instagram guy. Every big influencer has an Instagram guy. Think of the biggest influencer you know, even bigger than influencers. Think of the biggest brand you know. They have an Instagram guy, right? My guy earlier this year suddenly stopped being able to offer me the same services he was before. I think it's because a lot of these guys are scared by this. Right?
Yeah.
It's a fucked up system, bro. It's a super fucked up system. And also, like,
well, an extortion's a serious crime.
Very serious.
It's
but
probably prison time.
The
for
rumor,
real.
and I'm not saying this is confirmed, but the rumor behind the scenes is guys like this guy act as middlemen between Meta, like official Instagram and Meta staff, right? When I paid for my unban earlier, I think it was earlier this year or early last year, I don't even remember at this point, because I go through so many Instagram accounts. But the one time I paid for it, I paid $6,000. $5,000, and I had to pay it all in crypto. There's like no other payment method. $5,000 of that was for the Instagram employee, and $1,000 was the middleman fee. So someone like this guy mentioned in the article will be considered a middleman. He's not actually the Meta employee. But a lot of these guys are reaching out. They're doxing and reaching out to actual Instagram employees and being like, hey, bro, you can make, $500,000, like you can make hundreds of thousands of dollars doing this for me. Mm-hmm. And like from someone who's just a normal like IT guy, that's a hard offer to resist,
right.
But this is the first time someone ever got arrested for it. So for those of you guys all wondering, how is this not illegal? It is. They just don't fucking do anything about it, dude. They don't. It's fucked up, Kyle. It's fucked up. But I don't want to hog your comment reading. Get in there, Kyle. What do we got next?
Well, WC Games 199 says, how do you all even come up with this stuff? Very impressive. That's actually mostly Nick. Nick has good sourcing for finding like these articles and stuff for the conspiracy.
I just get fucked up.
Yeah.
The other thing, oh God, should I spill our sauce?
You can put
just a little bit of sauce,
like an ingredient,
So let me tell you all something. This is my methodology for creating these podcasts. What I do is I think of a bunch of like mini segments. So for example, reading comments or conspiracies, and then we also build them like Lego pieces. So like when we think of an episode, like today's episode, for example, we have our script on the screen that you guys can't see here. I have a separate document listing all the different segments that we potentially do, whether it's reading comments or whether it's watching clips or whether it's conspiracies or question of the week. And what we do is we look through what haven't we done in a long time, and we plug in those Lego pieces. It's one of I'd say the most valuable things I learned from my time going on other podcasts. I like really mentally focus on like, what are they doing right? What are they doing wrong? And like, this is one of the best strategies I've ever employed. If any of you guys are ever out there watching this and you want to make your own podcast, I would suggest instead of thinking bigger picture about the whole episode, make a bunch of tiny little Lego bricks and then put them all together, stack them up to make a building. You know?
Yeah.
Like, think of a bunch of tiny segments. But also, I mean, you contribute a lot of ideas, too. Like, it's not just my ideas, you know? Like, I'll create the structure, but also, like, our document with ideas, a lot of those ideas are yours, too. Like, Kyle and I will just get fucked up and, like, jump in Discord and just, like,
Yeah.
all right, what's on your mind? Like, what do you think would be fun? And, like, we just kind of go for it. And what I've realized over time is I think the dumber we think the idea is, the more they'll like it.
Usually the better it does.
Like, yeah. Like, the stupider it is, the more these guys are going to like it.
I wonder how many times, like, we've written something off because we're like, nah, that'd be stupid.
And
but
it probably would have been
viral as hell.
A million
actually.
times. I'll tell you right now, probably a million times you've done that. You
Yeah.
know? Next up, I want to read this one, actually, because I want to speak on this one. Jen says, real talk, Kyle. If you eat 5 grams of RSO, you're going to be as faded as Nate 420's dog. So run that shit up, though. I need to see it. You will see it, but let me tell you something. So this comment is actually referencing a video of mine on my Clips channel. I'm going to pull it up real quick.
Okay.
You see, on my Twitch stream, I watched a video from a YouTuber named Nate 420. He's a weed tuber who is questionable, to say the least. And this ended up becoming one of my second most popular video ever on my Clips channel with 300,000 views. It's a video of this guy feeding his girlfriend and his dog edibles without telling either of them they're edibles.
Oh,
on
wonderful.
camera. So he effectively laced them, right?
Yeah. Which is illegal. You should not do that.
I posted a video reacting to this. This guy, Nate 420, filed a false and malicious copyright claim against this channel and got the video temporarily deleted for 10 business days. And he completely filed a malicious claim. This just recently happened, like a week, probably 2-3 weeks ago now. By the time you watch this, over a month. And the way the YouTube copyright system works is when you get a video removed for like, whether it's copyright or defamation or anything, they immediately side with the reporter until you prove, like, the liability falls on me. The burden falls on me. So I call my fucking lawyer. I'm like, yo, dog, I got a check for you today. This guy just maliciously reported my channel. And I'm pretty drunk right now, so I don't remember the exact, like, offense of what that is, but that's not allowed here in America, right? So I'm calling my lawyer. I'm like, yo, what do I do? And this guy emails me a cease and desist around when he filed to remove the video. He emails me this bullshit-ass AI-generated cease and desist, and he's like, I demand a public apology out of you for this video. Of course, listen, you guys watching this who have been watching for a while, you know me. I'm not going. I don't go for that shit, right? So I replied to him. I have my lawyer type out all the replies and shit. He ghosts me. This video is finally back up, but it was... Let me mute it. It was removed from YouTube for a week because of his malicious copyright claim. And the problem is that impacted my Clips guy's income, right? Because my Clips guy, this is his like job, bro. Like, this is primary income. He makes money working with me, you know? So like him maliciously striking this video impacted my ability to upload other videos on the channel, costing me monetary damage, right? Now, Nate 420 is a guy who like... I got to hold my tongue. But what I'm going to say is he does some things with malicious intent, you know? So when you guys mentioned being as faded as Nate 420's dog, yeah, that guy literally fed his dog edibles on camera, but also, like, we can't talk about it very much because he's just going to file 1 million malicious copyright claims, okay? What I will say is all y'all watching this who are young, don't grow up and be like him. You probably don't want to.
No.
And if you do, you're probably not watching the right channel. You know? And that's something that, like, dude, I talk shit about hella people publicly. I'm a very open guy. Like, I don't hold my tongue. I'm very open. He's the only person who's ever abused the system to try to impact me that way. The cool thing is when someone files that kind of claim on you, you can file a counterclaim with YouTube, and it forces them to hire an attorney and file a real legal filing in their jurisdiction. So once I filed my counterclaim with my lawyer, the responsibility fell on him to counterclaim with a real attorney and file an actual like suit in court, a defamation suit, which obviously he never fucking did. This guy's net worth is probably like, I don't know, a peanut or two, you know? So like, obviously he never did that. But like, yeah, that's just, for those of you guys wondering where that video went off my Clips channel, that's where it went for about 2 weeks, including the non-business days, you know? Moral of the story,
Don't be like that guy.
oh, I was about to say something crazy. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that. Holy fuck. I was about to open us up to questionable things. Yeah, but listen, dude, that's our comments for today.
Yeah.
That's our episode for today. Kyle, I'm not going to lie, dude. We cooked today, dude. I feel like this is a really good episode.
Well,
Your conspiracy was fire.
while we're on the topic of dogs, though, I do
Go
want
for
to
it.
address one thing because we got some valiant defenders out there in the comments.
They want you to have a
Yeah.
pet so bad,
I
Kyle.
know. I have since. So, like we were talking about earlier, we filmed these quite ahead in advance. So we're like 3
About
or 4
2 to 3
weeks,
weeks, give or take. Yep.
out. So since the video where we discussed having a pet, I changed my mind and I don't even want a pet anymore. So while I appreciate you
I don't
guys,
have a gun to him, by the
Yeah,
way. Like, I just have smelling salts.
I do appreciate you guys defending me in the comments, but you don't have to harass Nick anymore.
Well,
He also did give me the option. He did later give me the option to get a cat. I just don't want a cat. I'm allergic. So,
I mean,
you know, it's all good, you guys.
that's how I know you were drunk when you were requesting it. You were like, what about a cat? And I'm like, bro, like, you can't even breathe around my fucking cat. It's like, what are you
Right.
talking about? A hairless
Yeah.
cat would be fire, though.
Yeah,
but
my
like,
face gets swollen and
yes.
nah.
Let
I
me
don't want a cat.
explain a little bit why Kyle can't have a pet so people understand. Listen, all the equipment that's filming this, all the cameras, I haven't paid a penny for any of it. It was all lent to us. And if there was a pet that came out here and, let's say, knocked over a tripod of cameras on and broke that camera, we're going to owe money for that equipment and more than likely have to return all of it.
Yeah.
There's ballpark around $50,000 worth of equipment in here. So on top of having to return that much, I would have to spend, we've already done the accounting for it, at least $20,000 to replace it all with equivalent cheaper equipment, right? I don't fucking have 20 grand to just whip at the wall, especially when they just ban my hustle, you know? Like,
Well,
especially.
and even like, so yeah, and then I'm allergic to cats. And even if I like were to get a dog, we live in the city of LA. We don't live in the suburbs anymore. There's not like a nice playground for me to take a dog to and like walk.
There
them
is if
around.
you drive them there.
Right. So like for me to like walk my dog, I'd have to like get him in the car and go somewhere. Like it would be an issue.
Well, and more so,
you know.
the reason I'm more cool with a cat is because cats don't bark. When I filmed my podcast at Pine Park, those motherfuckers adopted a puppy and he would do nothing but bark the entire fucking time every episode we did. We had bootleg Kev on the show, and literally I vividly remember him mid-episode. We cut it out, I'm pretty sure. He was like, yo, someone gonna shut that fucking dog up? And like, yo, I wish, brother. I wish. So like, yo, Kyle, listen, you're my boy. If you get your own apartment, get $1 million and I'd be so happy to come meet them all. But like here in the studio, we have all this expensive equipment and like the rent's paid by the Gobcast because, you know, we're making enough money to do that here. Like, I can't fold for a dog. I would fold for a cat though.
It's
if you
okay,
ever
though.
change your mind and you want a hairless cat, I would happily fold for that.
Right.
And also like, it's only cats or dogs that I think would pose an issue. Like if you want to get something in a tank
exotic.
or something like that, you can
So good.
get a turtle.
No, it's okay, you guys. I don't want a pet. I'm okay.
I feel like you should get a turtle or a hamster or
I don't
something. though.
want that.
Dude, that would be fire, bro. Like a little studio gerbil or something. You put it on
No.
the table.
No, I don't want that.
I don't know. I mean, dude, I think a caged animal would be sick. A sugar glider. Oh, he'd knock all the tripods over. We're fucked, dude. He's gliding across the lights and shit, lands on your head, starts gnawing on your hair and shit. That'd be
Nah.
fun, dude.
Nah.
What kind of dog would you get if you had to pick?
I really like greyhounds in an apartment.
you
I'd
wanna
probably
get a
an
greyhound
Italian
in a
greyhound or a whippet because they're smaller. But
That pet is fucked.
yeah, I like the silhouette of the greyhound. So I'd get In an apartment, I'd probably get a whippet because they're like tiny greyhounds. But yeah, if I lived in a great big mansion with unlimited space, I'd just have a greyhound.
Big old greyhound in that. Well, ladies and gents, episode 16.
Yeah.
That was a good one, dude. That was a really good episode, dude. I think, honestly, after people finish watching this, going to be sitting there like, damn, they really did smoke RFK.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, they did.
They did. Yeah, they really did. I'm just glad we could spread the good word.
And MLK.
Yes.
Yeah.
And JFK.
Yeah, that was the CIA, too. I didn't go too deep into that, but they killed MLK,
pulled up
too. Yeah.
Smoked all three.
Yeah.
2 of the FK guys and 1 of the MLKs.
And apparently, which I just discovered, was probably all overseen by the same dude, actually. Yeah.
YouTube.
Who then also got smoked.
Please don't send the CIA to assassinate us for this episode.
I'm not idle.
I'm not either. I'm not idle. Okay? If I die, it was homicide. Okay?
Yep.
Or I choked to death on a
health.
cheeseburger. One of those two.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, on stream but off this show, I finally successfully one-shotted a McDonald's cheeseburger.
Yeah, I saw it on your stream, right?
I did it, bro.
Yeah.
I did it. I really did it.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of
I
myself.
saw your clips guy was hard at work. Yeah,
He was.
I saw
Yeah,
your
that
clip
guy
of it.
grinds, bro. He
Yeah.
earns his.
Yeah.
He earns his.
Yeah.
But listen, guys, thank you all for tuning in to episode 16. This has been a blast of an episode. Don't forget to check out our good friends at 5 who were kind enough to sponsor the episode. And listen, these guys are at risk just like my brand is with the new 2026 spending bill that I spoke on earlier. And if you support any of this stuff, I think whether or not you consume this or not, you should generally support the availability of it. And if you want to do that, there's a link you can click, which I will pin in the comments below. All you have to do is click read more on the pinned comment. And in one single click, you can fill out your info and send a letter to your local senators telling them that you oppose this. You oppose the language banning hemp. That would help us greatly, and I deeply appreciate it. So I'm going to have that linked in the comment section below. If you'd like to do your part, I greatly appreciate it. The feds. And Kyle, what do you want to say before we go?
Also, fuck the feds. And yeah, I mean, yeah, even if you're not a big like edible person, like, I'm not huge on edibles myself, but support these companies while you can, because otherwise they'll probably be gone in a year or so.
That's right.
That is depressing. They're good companies. So.
Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for watching this one. We'll see you next week on episode 17. Deuces.
Peace.